We'll call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Bird. Henson.
Here.
Koho Kelly.
Here.
Mormon.
Here.
Hillsaback.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Angstrom.
Here. Item 2, approval of agenda.
Any changes, Your Honor?
There are none.
To approve.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Henson.
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
Mormon.
Yes.
Beck.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes. Item 3, presentation of petitions and other communications. A, swearing in of police officer Gail Nate. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Gail Nate,
I, Gail Nave,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of the office of police officer
discharge the duties of the office of police officer
in the city of Boone, Iowa,
in the city of Boone, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. You can sign up here. Photographs.
Who are we now?
By the law.
Hale's a Boone kid. His hockey talents took him around the Midwest in high school and stuff, but he's back in Boone and we're very excited to have him on the department. His dad has been a long time part-time officer for us and we're glad the family allowed him to join the police force as well.
Thank you all. Okay, now we move on to item B, the annual tax increment finance report of Maggie Berger, and everybody should have a copy of this document on your table.
Thank you very much. I'm Maggie Bird. That's a tough act to follow. So thank you. That's exciting. I always love that. So Maggie Berger here with your annual TIF and debt report. So we start out here with our kind of light red pages. We go through the debt and one of the far right debt on the first page. And then on the second to the far right on the first page, those are your new debts. And as of today, so 2 more items down on your agenda, we have a bond sale that we'll be doing a resolution on. So we sold general obligation bonds today. We also did a GOSRF loan. That loan was for some projects that we had decided would be done general obligation so that you had the potential to levy them as a debt service levy in the future if that's what you wanted to do. We did not want to do that as a revenue utility debt. It was very small and the size of $1,272,000, and it just gave you more repayment options. We also know that you have some larger sewer debts coming up, and we just didn't want to add this one to the mix if we didn't have to. So, we on page 2, we give you the total principal and interest, and the different ways that you're paying down the different debts. So the yellow column coincides with the yellow part of our report. And then you have a very large payment in fiscal year 26 from debt service. That is because you levied that amount in fiscal year 26. That was a planned levy as part of your budget. So the first part of your SRF note has a very large payment in it because that was the intention, was to have a very large payment in that debt. And then it kind of levels out from there. We go on to the orange pages, and this is where we talk about revenue debt. So these are debts that are paid from the water revenues or the sewer revenues of the system. These debts, the biggest takeaway here is that far right column with a lot of zeros or nothings in them on the second page, because you cannot levy any property taxes for this debt. You do have some some revenue debt outstanding that is being paid with some TIF revenues. The reason for that is you had to do some projects a long time ago that made your infrastructure, we'll call it like inadequate at the time. So to be able to bring on new development, you had to do some upgrades. And so in that regard, it's really okay to take some of the TIF revenues off of that new development and pay for some of those sewer improvements. And that's what you really did in that in that regard. So we are bringing a little TIF revenue in to pay some revenue debt. Again, it was wholeheartedly against a project for itself. We then go on to our purple pages, and this is where we talk about rebate agreements. So I remind everybody, a rebate agreement is where you've entered into an agreement with a developer that says, I will build something new. That something new will pay new taxes on it that have never been paid, because we will build something that generates new tax dollars. And you, the city, will rebate back a portion of those tax dollars to me for a set number of years or up to a certain dollar amount. You do have some housing rebate agreements. Those first couple on the first page are housing rebate agreements. So in housing, we have what's called LMI, or low to moderate income housing. And that just means if a developer is going to do a development that has houses that will be sold at market rate, meaning just a normal, probably in today's market, $300,000-$400,000 homes. You, the city, can't just incentivize that without setting something aside to help take care of your low to moderate income population as well. So the developer gets a portion, you get a portion. We have some commercial rebate agreements as well. When there's a commercial or industrial property, there is no low to moderate income requirements. And this goes on for a few pages, and we've identified at the top what areas those rebate agreements are, go to, or what areas they are in your different TIF districts. And then we have, again, the total annual appropriation. All of your rebate agreements are annually appropriated, which is important. We only have to count the annual amount that you will rebate back, not the full aggregate amount. And that's important when we talk about debt capacity, to just have that annual amount. Our yellow pages on the next section, this outlines any GO debt in the first couple of columns or first couple of areas that are being paid with TIF revenues. So maybe some of your GO debt is being paid with TIF revenue. Maybe all of a GO debt is being paid with TIF revenue. That's usually decided at the time that you do the bond issue. It's a conversation that we have with your administration as to what the project purpose is. Does it sit in an urban renewal area? Have you amended the plan for things like that? Then we also show that you are paying some of that 2021 sewer revenue debt with a couple of different TIF areas. Again, it was necessary to be able to get that project underway. And then at the far right column for fiscal year 27, we've drawn an arrow to the amount that the city really needs to certify or consider certifying for fiscal year 27, which that certification is due by December 1st. So that's why we're always here at this time of the year, because you have a certification due in December. We go on to our green section of the report. This is the general obligation debt capacity section. So we're going to look at column number 2 and read straight down that column. The city's actual valuation at last year, because of in column number 1, because of the increase in valuation, you did hop over the $1 billion level in valuation. So you grew even more by about almost 1%. So you're at $1,070,280,000 of valuation. That gives you a statutory debt limit of $53,514,000. That's a very large debt capacity number. You have GO bonds outstanding as of July 1st of $1,555,000. You have those TIF rebate annual appropriations. You will pay back $698,000 in debt, But between the GOSRF since July 1st and today's GO, you're issuing $2,547,000. So we'll add that up and we can look at column number 3. And that means your total obligations at the end of this fiscal year will be about $3.4 million in GO debt. At the bottom of column number 2, you still have more than 8% of your, you still have more than 93% of your debt capacity remaining. You're not using very much debt capacity at all. We tell you that you should probably reserve about 20% of that capacity just for emergencies, just in case something comes up. So if we take that 10 million off, you still have debt capacity of 39,109,000. I'm not telling you to go out and borrow that money, right? The idea is that there's flexibility there for money to be borrowed, but the whole point of borrowing money is how are we going to pay that back and identifying the ways that we're going to pay that back before you go down that route. So plenty of debt capacity to do some projects if projects come up or are necessary. Again, you grew by about 1%. And to be very honest, we're seeing what I would consider a flat growth pretty much across the state. And if you'll remember, that's because last year you grew by 35%. And that was the state reevaluation of most properties in the state of Iowa. And so big, very, very large. So this growth is not only generated by some very new construction, but I would also say we're seeing a little flat growth because we do know that some individuals questioned their valuation with the counties. And so there could have been a decrease in somebody's valuation, and then that's offset by the increase in valuation to those new properties as well.
I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
We still have a lot of debt capacity available, you said. How does that compare with other communities our size? Are we average? Or are we medium?
Yeah, no, I would say you actually have more capacity available to you for cities that are your size. So I think that you're doing a good job, and I think you have a healthy amount of debt capacity. What we have seen is you have some infrastructure needs coming up that are not, maybe we'll call it street related. You have infrastructure needs of water and sewer. And so those infrastructure needs aren't going to show up on this sheet because when we issue that debt, we're going to issue that debt as revenue debt, and revenue debt does not count against your debt capacity. Which is good for you, so that if there are those street, community type purposes that you need to borrow money for, you would have the capacity to do that. Where you are, you probably have a little bit more debt, I would say outstanding is your revenue debt side. And I don't really know that I would say you have more outstanding because anymore, most cities are issuing a lot of sewer and revenue debt. All infrastructure across the state is needing a little upgrade. And as you grow, you also need upgrades to your systems. As you put in new housing areas, it's not the fact that housing, that you need to run the infrastructure under that. It's the fact, can your water system overall handle that? Can your sewer system overall handle that growth? And so that's where you have issued more debt on the revenue side than you have on the general obligation side. So.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I will just go through the first 2 pages here of your blue section. This, I'll remind you, is our TIF portion of the areas. You have multiple TIF districts. They are identified there at the top in the title. This is your Southeast District, which is pretty active as a TIF district for the city. This is where we show any growth that has occurred in your TIF district from the inception or the start of that TIF district. So if that TIF district was blank, this indicates all the growth that has happened in that TIF area from the start. We're going to look at column number 2 because that's fiscal year 26. You have about $89 million in growth of commercial property, about $43 million of growth in industrial property, 1.1 million of personal property or ag, and then there's about $300 million of residential growth. I want to point out that that is a very large number compared to last year. You've had significant residential growth that has come on. And remember, you're talking, if we're in fiscal year 26, we're talking about valuations as of January 1st of 24. So that means this is growth that happened probably in the year of 23, the calendar year of 23. They are just now those houses are being valued, those businesses are being valued for the first time and paying taxes. So, we're 18 months behind in our property tax system. So again, this is growth that's been happening and occurring. That produces about $263 million in valuation after the rollbacks. Your TIF tax rate is $30.27. That would produce, if you asked for all the dollars, about $7.9 million in TIF receipts. You are only asking for about $600,000. You're asking to pay your GO debt. You're asking for your TIF revenue obligations. Those are the obligations that you're paying some revenue debt with TIF. And you also have some of your rebate obligations are also in the Southeast TIF district. There are unclaimed dollars. Here we say about 7.3 million. If you go out and start claiming those dollars, then you're going to hurt yourself in the general fund, right? It's okay to start asking for some dollars over and above little by little. But if you were to go ask for an extra $1 million because you had an obligation and nothing had grown to offset that $1 million ask, you would feel the pinch in your general fund as well as the school and the county. What we like to show why that is an unclaimed TIF dollars is just to show that you're really using TIF the exact way TIF was intended to be used, and you're using it just to meet your current obligations of GO debt and rebate agreements outstanding. So this TIF district grew by 11.8%. So again, we've done a 2% growth. We know this TIF district has grown. We got other TIF districts, so again, I'll let you go through those on your own. Your North Boone and South Boone housing have started to grow, and those were ones where we've had rebate agreements in them, and we just didn't see any growth, and now all of a sudden, those are starting to grow. And really, those rebate agreements don't kick in until that growth is there. But we just want to point that out, that those are a little bit more active in our sheets than they have. So, any other questions? A lot of information. Sorry about that.
Anything that jumps out?
No, I don't think at this time, I mean, we're real excited about the $1 billion valuation. I know that came about because the revaluation by the state, but you're not the only one that felt that revaluation. That was really statewide. The $1 billion valuation though really puts you into kind of a different category, I guess, at the state level for a city your size. And we like to see that. I think that you've got diverse growth happening between commercial, industrial, and housing. And that's always important as well, to see a little bit diversity in that growth. So, yeah.
Well, I think to our credit, a lot of smaller rural towns are the opposite direction. So they are fortunate
I think you are.
in the growth we've got.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maggie. I do. So we have item C, review proposed city logo designs, Courtney Sisson, the Arts Advisory Board.
I've just brought back this all for you guys to decide, I guess. And then maybe pick a few and we can go back to Ursula and get the edits that you want. To get these, it was Arts Board feedback. And then I asked local leaders, business owners, and such as like the Bacon's and Blissful, and also local leaders like the Rotary president and stuff to get these choices. It wasn't necessarily mine.
Sure. Didn't know what input there.
Yeah.
So we really are a bit open-ended on how we want to proceed here. Council asked for additional options. We can whittle it. You started with like 24.
Yeah, it was a large amount.
Yeah. So getting down to 10, you sort of have different overall styles to choose from. So I welcome any feedback anybody has about how you'd like to proceed. Or if there are ones that definitely stick out positively or negatively.
Body ones are not feeling.
The last four,
I chat GPT that because that's my favorite one. And I wanted the colors to be different so you guys could see that, but feedback taken.
Can I ask
Yeah.
Waylon, if you have you seen any of these?
yeah,
Because these go on quite a bit of the equipment and
are there any of them that
would
are-
not work.
are technically difficult to put on vehicles?
Or wouldn't show up.
Thing.
I mean, if we need a certain color or accent.
The feedback that I did get about this green is that no one really likes that green. and it would look really faded already.
Yeah,
I think those pastel colors would be awfully light
that
for,
was my concern with the pastels.
yeah.
If you have like this forest green one, you know,
But,
that darker color.
but Waylon, does it work better if it's fairly simple? I mean, do you,
I don't know if that necessarily matters. Primarily, my vehicles are white, new orders are white. Dump trucks are international blue. That proposes a range of colors that are probably difficult to
Right.
get on with, but
I don't know if black or silver or, you know, some of that, at least for a background, is gonna show up better than if it's fairly light colored. I mean, like this top one is really all light.
I think she does produce black and white logos in her package.
Sure.
If we picked a colored one.
Version.
Right.
But that's two-tone or whatever. That's good to know.
I would say if you could afford, if you pick a design that you could afford the departments some background, you know,
For contrast.
for contract, you know, like maybe just a plain, on a dump truck blue, either silver, white, back, you know, whatever the logo.
Yeah.
More of the logo versus.
Not just the words, but back, you know, an actual.
No, just more of the, if you pick the design, the words that you afford the departments, if we're putting them on, depending on what vehicles they go on, is, you know, the color, the contrast, whatever the vehicle it is, versus a letterhead type of a deal, right?
Sure.
What you're saying is if it has color, to also have it in an option of black and white.
Black and white or, yeah, red.
Right.
I think that-
department discretion maybe, I think is what you're asking.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
The logo itself is what it is, it's the color maybe.
Yeah.
Correct, contrast,
Yeah, I
so
think
that we can
we've
see
got
it.
that. Sounds like we'll have that covered.
And we have in the past with our logos, we've had the logo, but then we outlined parts of it with silver, break the color away from the color of the vehicle.
Correct,
So you could,
outline it.
outline the letters with a different color. Those are options and things we've done.
Thank you.
Yeah, because these don't really have a border around them, a lot of them.
No,
I mean, what is just what you're, yeah.
sounds like something we can do then.
I'm a big fan of the red and the green.
Option 8.
Option 8.
That's not the only one in here that I actually liked,
This
to be
one?
honest. Yeah. I think it's just because it has the school colors and it blends well.
It's simple.
It is simple.
I don't like,
1 through 6, a little sloppy.
well, they're busy.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
And I think it is reminiscent of our current logo enough. Right? That it's not a huge deviation.
So this is one that I edited through ChatGPT to see different
Yeah.
colors. So the logo, I would give it back to her and be like, hey, we're interested in this. But the logo is the brown and the green one.
Number 7.
Threw into ChatGPT up.
And I even like the brown and the green one if it was red and green.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering about maybe a bubble background that she could incorporate with that it could go on a different colored vehicle that we could still, you know.
Yeah, no,
That's what-
yeah.
A whole other white,
Sounds like it
could be in the same shape or something.
could be achievable.
I think either at 7 or 8, in my opinion. I said, but I really like the green and the red. I said, you know, we've not very many towns that have that first school color. I said, let's embrace it. So
So option 7, but in red and green, basically.
I think so.
So it doesn't matter that you really don't reflect anything that's going on with the Main Street?
It's kind of the arch part I thought was kind of neat. I mean, the little tiny hue, the nod to the archway was kind of cool in the first couple. I don't know about the colors, some of them maybe, but I liked the hint of that arch thing in the background.
Yeah, I kind of dig number 5 in that respect.
Which one is 5? Can you point it out?
On here?
The one that was option
that-
5. On your-
Is that like this?
Similar.
Yeah, because
Yours is black and white though.
right. Yeah, I also like the one with the arch because that makes it unique. I mean, it kind of highlights something new about Boone.
All right. Well,
Funny because that's what I've been hearing. It's this one and the other one. So Is it almost like,
Well, it sounds like we have a couple of representative ones. Maybe we select 5 and 7, but in red and green to send back and try to discuss making sure that we'll have black and white versions of them and we'll be able to have white backgrounds and then we can go from there in some respect.
Can we do like 5 in red and green?
Yeah, I do like the nod of the red and green with to the school. I think that's kind of neat. If those colors would work on, like we were talking on vehicles,
Yeah,
on things.
change the shade of Boone to the green of the school and the city of to red, I think. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, clear enough direction.
yes.
Okay. So, sounds like we coalescing around a couple,
There it down.
of options.
School colors, right?
Yes.
So they will both be coming back the same shades.
Yeah. Please.
So, and then we can decide if council just wants to make a decision on that, or if you want to open it up for public feedback beforehand. You know, everything's on the table.
Put the 2 out, yeah.
But at least we're narrowing in on a vision. But thank you for all your work.
Thanks.
So, yeah, we have item D, resolution directing the sale of $1.275 million in general obligation capital loan notes, series 2025. And Maggie was going to say something about our bond rating.
Right, thank you. So again, Maggie Berger with Spear Financial. Today we held a bond sale. We do have 2 bids in front of you and we'll ask you to pass the resolution awarding to Robert W. Baird. As part of our bond sale, we did go to Moody's Investor Service. We appreciate that your administration does a fantastic job in that conversation. It's an hour-long conversation. It is a lot of questions thrown at your administration. Andrea did a fantastic job always representing the city. You have maintained your A1 rating. So I'll remind you, there's a AAA rating. That's the highest in the land, right? AAA rating, there's only about 14 credits in the entire state of Iowa that have a AAA rating. We're talking cities, counties, schools, community colleges, Iowa, the state being one of them that carries a AAA rating at this point in time. So then there's AAA and then there's the AA category and there's a AA 1, 2, and 3. And then there's the single A category and a 1, 2, and 3. You are at the top of that single A category. And to be very honest, that $1 billion helps you in valuation because it puts you firmly in that single A category and actually probably at the bottom of the AA category, into the future, potentially with some growth. So we've done a little highlighting. That is page 2 and through about page 6 of your ratings report. The one thing I always point out as we're talking is if your liquidity ratio, which is fund balance, that is cash balance, drops below 30%, you're at about a 60% liquidity ratio. That is something that definitely could lead to a downgrade. Let me tell you, Moody's is not afraid to give people a downgrade, but we haven't seen that, and we really do firmly believe the city is in a good position. I just caution you on that because I know sometimes you can get pushback from different parts of the community telling you, you need to spend your cash. You shouldn't have this much cash and you need to spend it. Just remember, there are things that want you and there are groups that need you to have cash in our finances and in the financial world. You having cash to cover at least, a quarter of the year is very, very important to investor trading systems. We also talk about the resident income being about 94% of the national median. That is higher than the state of Iowa. So the state of Iowa is only about an 85% of the national median. And that just means your employees, the people that work in your community, are getting paid closer to what the national median is. I don't know that we have a lot of communities in Iowa. I mean, honestly, there's probably a handful that exceed the national median, but because we Our cost of living is a little bit less in Iowa. We probably don't make as much as maybe on the national scale, living in Iowa as well. Liquidity has grown from year over year. And again, that liquidity ratio is about 60%, which is a great amount. We did have a very, very good conversation about what this debt was about, what new debt would be coming on as revenue debt. You are in a position though, where your long-term liabilities ratio is under 100%, which is very important to them. When it starts to get into the 300% range, then they start to get a little questioning on as to what you're doing and why so much debt. But right now you're sitting very well with that. They also know that you have wastewater improvements coming up, and that was all figured in and discussed in that call. And again, they still have no concerns about that. They also talk about how Iowa cities have a strong ability to match your revenues to your expenditures. My parting comment on that will be, as the legislative gets underway, please remember that comment when you're talking to your legislators, that it is very important that you maintain control of your budget system. It's very, very important because it plays into a lot of these scenarios that cities have ultimate local control of how they're raising revenues to pay for the things that cost your city. So on the scorecard, which is one of our last pages of that portion, I do want to indicate that your scorecard rating is a AA3 rating, which is one notch higher than your actual rating. Like I said, Moody's is not afraid to give out downgrades. It is hard to get an upgrade. Sometimes they want to see that you're fully embracing all of those AA category ratings and metrics. I would say if the city continues, in the future to kind of scorecard out at that AA3 rating, it was a pleasant phone call and we're very happy with the A1 rating. I should have felt that.
Do you want to talk about the importance of that Moody's rating in regards to our bond?
Right, yeah. So the importance of the Moody rating. So even though this was a small issuance of debt, 1,275,000, Andrea and I had a conversation that in today's market with 4% interest rates, because that's really where municipal debt is at. And remember, you can issue at 4% because you are issuing tax exempt bonds, meaning the interest that you pay to the investors, they don't need to turn that in for income tax purposes. So if I were investing in a municipal bond and getting 4%, it's like having a 6% return in some tax brackets because I don't have to turn that in as income tax or get taxed on it as income tax. The importance was what we're seeing is without a rating, there are less bidders that are bidding on it. This rating is just that third party opinion, somebody else looking at it. And a lot of investment houses are really requiring ratings for them to bid on it. You are a city that should be rated. You're a city that should have, bidders. And the two bidders that bid today, actually Robert Baird and Stifel, they are bidders who would not have bid without a rating. Now, without a rating, we may have had some other bidders. Do I think this rating brought your interest rate down? Absolutely. Our non-rated issues over the last few weeks, I would say in the last probably 60 days, the non-rated issues are somewhere in that 365 to probably closer to 385 range. And you're looking at an interest rate of 3.28%. And that is achieved by 4% interest rates. And they're giving you a premium of about $60,000. So that's very, very important that we had the rating. We definitely believe that it saved you a lot of money to pay to have that rating. So. Robert Baird, if they bid on our deals in Iowa, they almost always win the deals in Iowa. They were aggressive. As you can see, Stifel was the first bidder on the auction page. They submitted their bid first. Andrea and I were watching it, and then Robert Baird came in just with a few minutes left. And I mean, the difference between a 328 and a 341 on the second to the last page, that difference is more than, it's a little bit more than $8,000 in interest, and that's very important to get the lowest interest rate possible.
Yeah, and it's, goes without saying, but Andrea has worked very hard for a long time to get the city's finances into a really strong position. So she should be commended for that. Saves the taxpayers a lot of money, and we're able to get a lot more things done. So thank you for all the work you've put in over the years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good report.
So we have resolution 3438, or no, we'd have to do cross the wrong one off. 3437, resolution directing the sale of 1.275 million in general obligation capital loan notes, which we need a motion on.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Koho Kelly,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson.
Yes.
Right. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
We now have 3438, resolution ordering the construction of a water treatment plant ground storage reservoir rehabilitation and fixing a date for hearing thereon.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson.
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
And we have F, set a public hearing for November 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. to consider granting of an easement being 15 feet by 15 feet in area of an electric line lying north of Park Avenue and east of McCoe's Drive.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson.
Yes.
Koho Kelly,
Yes.
Mormon.
Yes.
We have item 4, public comment for items not on the agenda.
Evening. I'm Harrison Swift, the new Director of Economic Development for the Ames Regional Economic Alliance, and I'm here to provide a Q3 report for 2025. And I actually have a few handouts here that I'd like to pass around, if that's okay, to the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm the individual that is taking over for Audie Maxey, so I will be your guys' new point of contact for the Alliance. And I'll just jump right into this. So Iowa Economic Development Authority has approved workforce housing tax credits, and Boone has actually obtained some for support on the Prairie Place project. Prairie Place project is building 24 units. It's going to receive $823,393 for phase 2 of its project. So that's a great support right there. And then the next item on this flyer is our market statistics regarding our housing inventory. And these are numbers for September 2025, and they're going back to September 2024 comparing to last month's. The median sale price is $225,000, which has jumped 15.4% since September of 2024. There has been 35 homes closed on, which has been a decrease by 5.4%. And the active inventory in Boone has jumped 107.6% to a total of 137 homes available. And then there's also 67 new listings on the market right now, and that's another 103% increase. The Boone employment rate is at 96.6%. And then on our lowest, our location information systems, there are 6 available sites and 13 available buildings. And for some upcoming events and meetings, we recently held our Boone County Economic Growth Corporation board meeting at the railroad. And then coming up on the 24th, which I believe is Friday, we have the UEA ribbon cutting, and that's gonna be in Ames from 8:30 to 10 a.m. November 5th, we have the Boone County Economic Growth Corporation Annual Luncheon from 11 to 7 at Seven Oaks. And then on November 13th, there is going to be a Highway 30 corridor career fair at the Ames Public Library from 2 to 5 p.m. And then some other metrics regarding our social media and our website. You can see that we've had 40,478 views year to date on our Facebook page. 118,048 active users on our workinbooneiowa.com page. And then also 166,000 page views on that website as well. Then on the back, there's a little bit of information, some about myself, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. And then also welcoming Dr. Alan Gobin to DMAC. And then some more information on the Rising Leaders Academy that recently took place on October 7th. That's my report.
Any questions for Harrison?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, seeing no other public comments. We'll move on to reports of standing committees. 5A, Policy Administration, Williamson.
No report, Your Honor.
B, Public Safety and Transportation, Hilsabeck.
Yes, I just have one thing on here, and that's to approve a street closure for the 10th annual trunk or treat for Story Street, 6th to 9th Street. All good.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
Mormon.
Yes.
Hilsaback.
Yes. And that is all, Your Honor.
Pretty much, C, Utility Committee, Angstrom.
We just got a lot of projects coming up. We'll have more details to come.
Perfect. D, Economic Development, Mormon.
We finally have the agreement, so I'm gonna let Andre take this. It's been a long time coming, but it's here.
We have the agreement with Daisy Brand and the state of Iowa on the agenda.
Awesome.
Oh,
Otherwise, we just say a resolution.
I mean, it's just a long time coming. There's nothing I expected in there. It's just a finality of the entire thing.
Finally.
And I might add, after they sent it over to me by email, it's been reminding me every single day, you have a document to sign. You have a document to sign. I can't sign it until you guys approve it, so I'll leave it up to you.
Move to approve.
Second, please call it down.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Absolutely, yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Koho Kelly,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes,
Hilsaback,
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
that's all I have, Your Honor.
Excellent. Thank you.
You can sign now.
Yep, after the meeting, I'll get my email and that thing, it'll be done.
And I did get my name added as a contact on there.
Oh,
so.
excellent, good. We have item 6, department reports, A, building official Dave. You, city attorney Ray.
No report, Your Honor.
C, director of public works Waylon.
Thank you, Your Honor. In your packet, resolution 3440 pertains to our 2026-2027 Southeast Boone hot mix asphalt HMA is what that stands for there. Overlay project stuff. I am here tonight during last year's goal setting session that council held. You guys allocated $100,000 to be put into the 331 account to be used for intersection rehabilitation. I'm asking for 53,000 of that to go towards the engineering and design for these intersections in this project. This project would rehabilitate the majority of 19 intersections, and 7 of which are in great need for repair. These intersections include First Street intersections of Benton, Lynn, Cedar, and Clinton Street, as well as Clinton Street intersections of Union, Garst, and Aldridge. These intersections in the southeast section of town, with the construction of the Boone Community School District Middle School and the Early Childhood Education Development Center down in that area of town, has seen a great rise in traffic. They started with bus traffic for a while and they diverted them off the First Street. Some of the intersections down on Clinton Street have really dilapidated very fast, and this would help take care of them. Staff will still utilize the remaining balance of about 47,000 to work on intersections that were directed, such as Hancock and South Lynn, I believe was one of them, and work on the others. Do you have page 15 of that, or is the last page of the agreement? There we go. You all have a chance to look at your map there. Yeah. Everything, a little explanation, a little help here, probably. Everything that's red in number 1 and number 2 are our primary projects that are funded at the state level, grant money, SWAT funds and all that. Anything 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all bid alternates. We don't like to bring those to the engineering forefront if they aren't going to happen. So I don't want to bring them in front of you if they're not going to happen, or waste money on the engineering if it's not going to happen. Right now, we feel really good with opinions of cost and walking area with the engineers that this is all a big doable area, and it encompasses a good area for this project. So you have any other questions about that?
Do the intersections include intakes and all that good stuff?
A lot of it's a pretty detailed list of events right now. Perry's opinion of cost, he had intakes in there. He has 30% patching of removal and replace and patch of
curb and gut.
Of sub bases that are not strong enough to just handle an overlay.
Gotcha.
So you would have to remove a section and then pour concrete and then overlay on top of it. And then we also do have curb and gutter sections put in there also as a percentage rate.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys have driven down South Clinton Street lately. I know Linda has.
Daily.
It was in.
Pretty
We're
bad.
holding it together with our emulsion patch machine, but it's in dire need. I would probably put that at one of our worst streets, definitely.
It's a fantastic project. We've been working on it for a long time, planning for it. Need to get going.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Koho Kelly,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes.
Where's the feedback coming from?
I think it's a fridge.
Okay. Can you unplug it for a tinnitus or something?
I don't want to get the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah, yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for all your work on it so far, Waylon. I know it's going to be a big job. D Library, Jamie.
Your Honor, included in your packet is an update from the library. I'm here to answer any questions. I guess maybe the things that I'll pull out from the director's report this month is that we have a new librarian hired. She started last week. She replaced a retired Candy who does programming. We also have, I don't know if you know this, but it's National Friends of the Library Week. Our friends do a lot of fundraising. They pay for all of our online resources. They do have an upcoming fundraiser on November 1st. If you'd like tickets, it's online through Facebook. And I think the last thing I do want to say is that our annual survey has been submitted to the state library. And from that will be created the annual report. So I'm sure you guys are all in anticipation when I present it the next meeting. Are there any questions?
No, and I would just add, please sign up for the Dia de los Muertos fundraiser, because my wife is making sure that I spread the word far and wide so they can get good participation. Last year, they had to cancel their fundraiser. They didn't get enough people signed up. Please share the word. You need something to do on a Saturday after Halloween. Thank you, Jamie. Okay. Oh, and you also participated in the haunted buildings tours, and that was great fun getting to hear all of the history of the library and things like that with downtown Boone. So that was a great collaboration with a lot of different places. So that was a lot of fun. Park Director, Mike.
Thank you, Your Honor. Last Wednesday, we had our community survey feedback session out at the Scheller House. And it was kind of an interesting survey. There were 66 women, 66% of the survey were women, ages 35 to 50, and college, each one that had college degrees, so that was interesting. We also had 35 students that broke into 7 stations, and they all had ideas for certain parks, and they were very professionally done. They were very well spoken and really eager to explain and show off their projects. It was really impressive. With that, December 10th in the auditorium is their final displays. And on that night, each one will have a display of their own. So there'll be roughly 35 displays. And if it's anything like what they had, it's pretty impressive. The only other thing is we are closing the restrooms and all the water around town in the parks, getting ready for winter. So
What about ice skating this year?
ice skating, we're supposed to be getting a new rink from the Wild, and it has not come in yet. So, but it is planned.
One last thing, I've had a lot of people ask me, they've been reporting their stumps have been stolen. Can you talk about that?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we actually had 356 stumps stolen, which is great. That's the Public Works Department had 22 that they cut down on 10th Street. So we'll add those to the next go around. So we'll have another 360 in the parks and Linwood Cemetery. But yeah, that should cover just about all the stumps in the community at a very low $14,000 price tag.
Really great to get up to par with that so we can keep up for the future. That's a
D&J's did that. They had until June and they pretty much got it done in just about a month.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic.
Yeah. It's great to see a plan come together.
Yes.
So great work.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
What's next with the park survey? I mean, and the students coming in and I hear they're going to present, you said about 35 different, but what's next? Where's that going?
So right now, we haven't met yet since we've had that last week. But I think the next meeting, we're going to talk about the board's ideas, what their future looks like.
So maybe picking a couple of those, you mean, or ideas or?
Definitely look them over and, it'll be up to the park board if they want to pick one. There were a lot of really good ideas. So
Incorporate aspects of them.
possibly, and then I think we're gonna look into more of a park board future. So hopefully.
Okay, maybe use them
Are
for
we-
long term, or I mean, kind of planning year by year on.
Don't we have a plan coming at some
Yes,
point?
well,
Is that part of it? Is that part of it, this plan that we've been waiting?
yeah, we wanted to, for one, we really wanted to get a survey of what the community wanted. It was kind of surprising. The biggest want is an expansion of walking trails.
Oh.
That's from the community. But, as far as what the park board wants, I think that's going to be really coming up in the near future.
Was there any, I don't know the scope of it. Was there any information about which parks are heavily used and which ones are or not? I mean,
They did have a little bit of, I don't have that with me,
Okay.
but a really popular one is Franklin Park with the new equipment. That was.
so that's making a difference. I mean,
Oh, yes,
if we,
big difference.
yeah.
I see a lot of adults playing on that.
Good.
Pretty good workout, I guess, so. But yeah, we're gonna. Pardon?
I don't think that was supposed to be.
Did I answer your question? The next step, I really want to get the park board involved in the 10-year plan.
Yeah, and that'll give them some data to. Okay, good, thanks.
Thanks, Mike. You can sit down. Okay, so F Recreation Director Nate, who has law.
I'll go for it.
You're good? Okay.
That's right. Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry, I don't know if my voice is more annoying now than it was, but I do have an allergy situation. So I apologize for that.
Since I last spoke with you, I just wanted to cover some events that ended. Well, not ended. We had employee wellness. We had Iowa Healthy Estate Walk that was pretty well attended. And we had lunch in the auditorium afterwards. And Jamie won at trivia very easily. Our pickleball, beginners pickleball class also ended, and that was really good to see the transformation from week 1 to last week. And I learned a lot because there's a lot of specifics in that sport. Things coming up this Saturday, we have youth fishing. We also have cardio dance. And then our fireside chat, again, thanks to the library and Jamie for kind of giving us a space to do this at the library, kind of looking at our senior citizens and seeing how we can create some community and maybe use that as an incubator to find more things that they may want to do. And there's some more things that are going, but not quite ready to report on there yet. Any questions?
I have a comment. Do you put out kind of like a calendar of events that you have done like month by month? Or does that go out in the city? Any kind of information there? People see what you're doing and all the programming and activities that are going on.
Good question. We do have the social media and the website. The things are listed on there, usually trying to drive people to the website. Seems to work the best for a place that wants to go. So that's kind of
But I think it's real important that people see the variety of what you're doing and we're trying to kind of build on this whole program.
And on the website, it lists all the programs, and if they're closed, it says closed on there.
Good.
Sweet. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, G engineer Perry is not with us this evening. Is there anything we need to bring up from engineering?
Oh, no.
Okay. H public safety chief Adams. So report, Your Honor. You be bold.
Yes, Your Honor. There's a resolution authorizing the sale of ammunition from the police department. So the backstory is since 2005, officers have been able to carry a firearm of their choosing of up to 3 different calibers. And so we had to stock that ammo because we have to use it for training. We issue it for training plus duty ammo, obviously. Over the years, officers have all now gravitated towards 1 caliber. So we have ammo in our inventory that hasn't been used in about 2 years it does us no good. So I'd like permission to sell it to other police departments or other police officers. That way, it stays within the law enforcement side. We don't have to worry about that. There are at least 1 department that that still uses 40 caliber. That's one of the main one that we're trying to sell. I don't know how much they're actually wanting to purchase at this time, but we would use a fair market value.
I see no issues with this.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Henson,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Thank you, chief.
Lastly, we just talked about closing the road for trunk or treat. And so 5 to 7 on Thursday. We'll see you there.
When's the chili?
November. Spot. November 14th, maybe.
We'll look it up.
Looking at it. I'll have to find it for you, sir.
All of it to benefit shop fitness, obviously, which is why I brought up the chili.
I'll get it with, sir.
No worries, no worries. Sorry to do. Hi, city administrator Andrea.
Yeah, we have granted our last housing incentive grant. This is the $10,000 grant that we have been offering since 2018. So the question is if we want to continue the program. I do have a realtor that has 2 homes that she would like to submit an application for. And then if we do want to continue the program, the question would be do we want to continue with the same guidelines or if we want to make some changes?
I think it's a fantastic program and we should do everything we can to continue it. This is the home improvement program, which is direct funds reimbursement to people low income?
No.
No?
I'm
No.
sorry.
Okay.
This is a $10,000 grant
Oh,
that if
okay.
a person were to build a home, they get incentivized with $10,000. Or a developer can go in and build a spec home and they get 5,000 plus the reimbursement of their building permit. And then the home buyer gets 5,000 of the 10. The funding source, I would recommend, there is some money that we had set aside to purchase some land. I would recommend using, the general fund, money that we had for that set aside.
How much are you talking, Andre?
I would suggest 100,000, just that gives you 10 houses.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good,
That's also a good program.
yeah, it's a great program.
And knowing that I already have two, applications coming in, and this also.
Helps us with the infill projects too, doesn't
It does. It also, the county does give us, the first 3 years of their share of the taxes on that money also.
What is that?
So do you need a motion or just
Yes.
head nods?
Let's do a motion.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Koho Kelly.
Yep.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson.
Yes.
The other, announcement is that the finance officer has put a 2-week notice in. I am, if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to, put an ad out, with a wage between 75,000 and 100,000.
Are we paying her now?
I'm sorry.
What is,
She's been here 18 months and she's at 83,000. She started at 75.
And you said a couple of our neighboring communities
Yeah.
are also, so.
Yeah, so
a
I'm
little
Percentage
competition right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
And we're really trying to find somebody that has experience.
Can come in and jump in and, yeah.
Which is hard to find. I mean, there are trainings available, but it will take time to get the training done. So if we're able to find a qualified applicant right away,
We have a lot going on.
short time frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
A certified finance officer takes 5 years. The state to get that certification.
yeah, go ahead and do the ad.
I'll get that out. Thank you.
Item 7, consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate vote, discussion on these items unless a request is made prior to the time council votes on the motion.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Angstrom. Angstrom,
Yes, sorry.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, we are down to 8 ordinances first reading. Ordinance 2324 to allow the city of Boone, Iowa to change the stop intersection for code of ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Hillsaback,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Okay, number 9, mayor's comments.
Mayor.
Just one moment, please.
Oh,
Would it be all right if we I'll make a motion to waive the second reading of that ordinance, just to move it on a little
sure.
quicker?
That's allowed. Is that allowed?
Yeah, so that's what I just wanted to clarify. So you do have the ability to waive the second reading.
Even if it's not on the
Right, because I think you can set, then for the next meeting, you can set it for the
third reading.
third reading and you can adopt it then.
Next meeting.
It's not the norm, but you can use it, and this is a situation where I think it's appropriate. It's something that, for traffic flow and
Needs to
safety.
be
I have no issue with it.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Williamson,
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Koho Kelly.
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Hillsaback.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so number 9, mayor's comments. Last Thursday, I was invited to participate in, with area Ames Regional Alliance, a governor's roundtable, economic development roundtable. We got to talk about a lot of different things to the governor and to each other about what's been happening in Boone. And in particular, the governor was very impressed with the level of cooperation that the city has with the school district and with the county hospital and the county. But in particular, we described all the ways that we work together to be efficient and save the taxpayer money. Brought up things like the EMT training class that we partner with school, a through career ambulance, school resource officer, helping with the redevelopment of Page and Lincoln Flats, things of that nature. So the governor was very thankful for all of our efforts to partner with one another and be good stewards of taxpayer dollars in that regard. So
Nice.
okay, that is the comment that I have. And number 10, council member comments.
Went to the open house on 8th and Ringgold. That was a project that we approved, this council approved, townhomes. They have 1 sold, 3 that are available. We toured all 3 of them. They're very nice and they're at a great price point for the community. $319 to $339. So that's right in that area where that we need the housing. And they have option to build 4 more.
Nice.
It was very interesting. So
Excellent. Other council comments.
Halloween evening, after trick or treating, there will be a parade downtown. So got little kids, especially bring them down and around.
When is the voting closed on those storefront windows? Do you know? The 31st. So all the businesses banded together and decorated for Halloween, which is something we don't usually do, and they're trying to find out who wins. So weigh in on that as well. So we have a lot of Halloween festivities going on downtown. So it's great.
You can see all of the windows on Facebook. We'd encourage you to walk down there.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe there's 22 windows.
A lot of Halloween spirit. So that's great. Other council comments? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.